They say some things in life are priceless. But what if you could buy something no one else can see? A boy bought midnight, and the cost was more than he could ever imagine. Stay till the end to discover what the night demanded. Night had come to the city, but the city never slept. Neon lights flickered in the streets, cars honked endlessly, and people rushed like ants. But in one small corner of the city, there was silence. A silence so deep that even the wind seemed afraid to enter. Sadiq, a young boy of 12, walked through this corner with his eyes wide open. He loved the night. Not the city, but the secret that the night carried. He had heard from the elders that some things could only be bought at midnight, things that were not meant for the living, things that carried shadows. Tonight, Sadiq felt a pull in his chest, a hunger he could not explain. Something whispered his name from the dark corners. It promised him power, adventure, and a secret no one else could ever know. And so he walked deeper into the darkness, unaware that the night was watching him, waiting. Sadiq found himself in an alley where the lamps flickered weakly. There, sitting on a wooden crate, was a man in a cloak as black as midnight. His face was hidden, but Sadiq felt eyes that could see his soul. "Looking for something?" the man asked in a voice like wind through dry leaves. "Something that cannot be found in the day?" Sadiq nodded, though his heart pounded like a drum. The stranger smiled, revealing teeth that glimmered strangely in the moonlight. "You can have what you seek," the man whispered, "but everything has a price. Do you wish to buy midnight itself?" Sadiq did not understand fully, but the word midnight shone in his mind like a jewel. He nodded again, curiosity stronger than fear. The stranger handed Sadiq a small pouch. Inside is the coin for midnight. But listen carefully. Midnight is not yours to control. It can vanish, it can change, and it can punish. Sadiq's fingers trembled as he held the pouch. "How much?" he asked. The stranger chuckled softly. "Not money, not gold, a secret, a promise, a choice that may follow you forever." Sadiq hesitated. He had secrets, but none he thought dangerous. He swallowed hard. "I'll do it," he said. And just like that, the stranger disappeared into the darkness, leaving Sadiq alone. But the air felt heavier. The shadows felt alive. The night itself seemed to wait for him to open the pouch. Sadiq opened the pouch. A single coin lay inside, black as coal and cold as the river at dawn. He held it tightly. Suddenly, the city fell silent. The street lights dimmed. The cars stopped. Even the wind paused. It was his first midnight. The shadows stretched, bending toward him. He could hear whispers of things that never spoke before. Sadiq felt excitement mixed with fear. He had bought something invisible but real, something that could bend the night to him. But with each whisper, he felt a tug on his soul. The coin was heavy, not with gold, but with responsibility. Midnight was his to play with, but it could also play with him. The next day, Sadiq told no one. He carried the coin everywhere, hiding it under his shirt. But the night came faster than he expected, and the darkness pulled at him again. It was tempting him. He tried small things. He made the shadows in his room dance. He heard secrets of the city from the walls. At first, it was fun, but the shadows started to whisper things he did not want to know. Lies, betrayal, jealousy. He realized that buying midnight was like holding fire. It could warm, but it could burn. And Sadiq knew deep in his heart that one mistake could cost him more than he had imagined. The next night, Sadiq visited the old woman in his neighborhood, a keeper of stories and secrets. She looked at him and gasped. "You have bought midnight," she said softly, "and with it, you invite both wonder and danger." She warned him that midnight was a living thing. It could test him, deceive him, and even harm those he loved. "No one should buy what belongs to the night," she whispered. "It is not meant for boys, nor for men, but you, only you can choose to respect it or let it consume you." Sadiq nodded, but the coin felt heavier than ever. He understood now. Midnight was not a gift, it was a lesson, and lessons, he knew, could be cruel. Curiosity overcame him. Sadiq decided to see what the coin could do in the city. He stepped into the streets at midnight and whispered a wish. Shadows gathered, twisting around his words, forming shapes that no one else could see. At first, it was fun. He made the neighbor's light flicker and he watched people glance nervously at the empty streets. But soon, the shadows misbehaved. They scared children, frightened animals, and even whispered lies into people's ears. Sadiq realized he had caused harm. Midnight was not just for play. It had power, yes, but also consequences. And in that moment, he understood fear, the fear of his own choice. The next day, Sadiq went to the market. He saw a woman crying because her small bag of coins had vanished mysteriously. He felt the coin burn in his pocket. Midnight had punished someone innocent, using him as a tool. He remembered the elder's words, "Respect, Sadiq, respect." He promised himself that he will no longer use midnight for selfish fun. Instead, he would learn, he would wait, he would listen. And so, he began to watch the night, studying how it moved, how it whispered, how it tested him. Every street, every shadow, every light became a teacher. As he learned, the shadows began to speak to him differently. Not whispers, but guidance. They showed him hidden corners of the city, people who needed help, places forgotten by day. Sadiq realized midnight could do good if he was careful. He helped a lost child find her mother, guided an old man home, and even warned a thief who planned to steal. The night listened to him as he listened to it. But he also knew the balance was delicate. One selfish thought could awaken the darkness that had already tested him once. One night, the cloaked stranger returned, as silent as the wind. "You have learned," he said, "but do you understand? Midnight is not yours. You borrowed it from the night, and the night remembers everything." Sadiq's heart raced. "I will use it wisely," he promised. The stranger's eyes glimmered. Wise is not enough. Courage, kindness, and patience are the true coin of midnight. Forget one and it will forget you. And with that, the stranger vanished again, leaving Sadiq alone, feeling both proud and frightened. A week later, the city faced a storm. The river swelled, houses trembled, and panic spread. People ran, but the roads were flooded and no help could reach them. Sadiq held the coin tightly. He could not save everyone, but he could guide those lost in the darkness. The shadows moved under his command, forming bridges, lighting paths, and whispering warnings. The city survived the night, and the people never knew who had helped them. Midnight had tested Sadiq, and he had passed, but not without exhaustion and fear. After the storm, Sadiq felt a sadness he could not explain. He realized that midnight came with a price he would pay forever: responsibility, patience, and the weight of secrets. The coin had taught him about fear, temptation, joy, and sorrow. He understood now that no one can truly own darkness. One can only walk with it learn from it, and respect it. He placed the coin back in the pouch, not to use recklessly again. Midnight was no longer a game, it was a teacher. Sadiq shared nothing of the coin with anyone, but he carried the lessons in his heart. Greed can blind, curiosity can burn, and responsibility is the heaviest treasure. He learned that power without wisdom is dangerous, and that the night, like life, tests everyone in ways unseen. Midnight was not punishment, it was a mirror, reflecting the choices he made. And so, Sadiq grew, a boy who had walked with shadows, who had learned the weight of secrets, and who knew that some things are bought not with coins, but with courage and care. Years passed, and Sadiq became a man. The city changed, but he never forgot the first midnight. Sometimes, when the streets were empty and the wind whispered through the alleys, he felt the shadows greet him. He smiled, knowing that the night still tested him, still guided him, still reminded him that nothing in life comes free. Not power, not knowledge, not even the quiet corners of the world. And in those moments, he understood that midnight was a gift and a responsibility that he would carry forever. Sadiq told this story to his younger brother one night, not the secret of the coin, but the lesson of midnight. Never take what belongs to the night lightly, he said. Always choose courage, kindness, and patience. The shadows are watching. His brother nodded, eyes wide, understanding more than the words could say. And somewhere in the silent city, the shadows whispered, waiting for the next child curious enough to learn the lesson. Midnight had passed through Sadiq's hands, but its story would never end, for the night always watches and the night always teaches.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, please like, comment, subscribe, and share so it can reach more lovers of stories like you.